ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So many times devotees ask that how to understand if I'm advancing in bhakti. This question is always there. How should I advance? How should I understand that am I advancing in bhakti? What is that litmus test to advance in bhakti? So today we'll try to discuss on this topic. That what is that litmus test? How to understand if I'm advancing in bhakti or not? In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami, he gives a definition of pure devotional service. Anyabhilashita shunyam Jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. So he says, Uttama bhakti, pure devotional services, anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam and anukulena krishna. Anushilanam. 4 points are there in that. So first one, anyabhilashita shunyam. It means all desire zero, all material desire zero. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur specially he says, all sinful desires zero. So all adharmic desires which I have, that should go zero. That's the first thing. Jnana karmadi anavritam. So now, if you see, all of us when we do devotional service, we do some jnana activities, like taking bath. Simple. So you'll see every devotee will take bath. Even if a person is a Babaji, even if a devotee is a Babaji, he will also take bath. So can we say that no, he is not doing pure devotional service? The understanding is those activities of karma and jnana which are favorable to bhakti should be done. The ones which are not favorable should be avoided. So if I have to qualify for this definition of pure devotional service, then first is all my sinful activities should go zero. Sinful desire should go zero. Second, the activities which I am doing, be it karma activities or jnana activities, it should be favorable to bhakti. So unfavorable karma and jnana activities are the problem. So they will cover the pure devotional service. Now, these two are there. And the third one is Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulena krishna. So now whatever service we are offering to Krishna, so that service has to be favorable the way Krishna wants, with a goal to please him. So this is the third point, to please Krishna. That is the goal that we have. Now how should I please Krishna? Anushilanam, by following in the footsteps of previous great devotees. So these are the 4 things. First is anyabhilashita shunyam. All my sinful activities and desires should go zero. Second, yes. So karma, jnana activities which we might be doing should be the ones which are favorable to bhakti. Third, please Krishna. That's the goal. So whatever activities I'm doing should be favorable to Krishna consciousness with a goal to please Krishna. Because even Kamsa and Chanur Mushtik, when they were fighting, they were also pleasing Krishna. Krishna was getting that maza of fighting, various. But we cannot say they were doing pure devotional service. Kamsa was remembering the Lord all the time, but he was not doing pure devotional service because that was unfavorable thought. So favorable thought is needed. Favorable process of Krishna consciousness is what is expected. So now one can say that, see, finally goal is to please Krishna. So we can fight with Krishna and give him pleasure. That gives him pleasure too. But then Anushilanam word makes it very clear. I have to please Krishna the way the previous great devotees have pleased Krishna. So in this way, this is the definition of pure devotional service. So now, as we understand from the commentaries of Acharyas, even Prabhupada mentions, Guni Bhuta Bhakti, Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti. So Guni Bhuta Bhakti basically means when we invest less time in Krishna consciousness. Less time means? Yes, so 2 hours of chanting, 1 hour of reading, 1 hour of hearing. That's called Guni Bhuta Bhakti. It's less time. And then above that, आप लोग करते हैं 4 घंटा तो करते हैं कि नहीं, मतलब गुणी भूता से भी नीचे चले जाएंगे फिर हम लोग. So Guni Bhuta Bhakti. Now see, Guni Bhuta, Pradhani Bhuta and Kevala, all of them, they follow this 4 things which I mentioned about pure devotional service. They follow it strictly. So Guni Bhuta Bhaktas, they invest more time in karma activities, jnana activities and less in bhakti activities. Pradhani Bhuta Bhaktas, they spend more time in the bhakti activities, the 64 angas of bhakti, and less time in the other 2. Kevala Bhaktas, only bhakti activities and nothing else. So they might give very little time because they also have to do other activities. But even the activities of taking bath and other things will also come in bhakti because their entire goal or entire mood is to just do devotional service and nothing else. So in this way we see Guni Bhuta, Pradhani Bhuta and Kevala Bhaktas, all of them they have this mood, Anyabhilashita Shunyam. But now, the point is Guni Bhuta Bhaktas who are there, the less powerful bhakti who are doing, they are not qualified as pure devotional service or pure devotees. We cannot call them as pure devotees. Why we cannot call them as pure devotees? Because there are 6 symptoms of pure devotional service, 6 characteristics of pure devotional service which they don't fulfill. What are the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service? The ones who have already done Bhakti Shastri, they can say. Yes, Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Lagutakrit, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, and Sri Krishna Akarshan. So these are the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Kleshagni, Klesha Agni. The Klesha means miseries. The miseries are put to end. So basically no distress. That is relief from material distress is Kleshagni. Shubhada, attainment of auspiciousness. That's Shubhada. Moksha Lagutakrit. So pure devotional service, when someone renders pure devotional service, he feels that even liberation is very, very insignificant. Happiness of liberation is very insignificant. Sudurlabha, very rarely achieved. Pure devotional service. That's one of the characteristics. Sandrananda Visheshatama. So this personality who is rendering pure devotional service, he is experiencing the highest transcendental pleasure. And Sri Krishna Akarshani, this is the only means by which Krishna gets attracted to the devotee. There's no other way. Even if we do nice makeup and wear nice clothes and go in front of the Lord, Lord is not attracted. Lord is attracted only to pure devotional service. Only one we can discuss today. Other 5, some other day we can discuss. So we'll discuss Kleshagni. Kleshagni means relief from material distress. It's a very, very important topic. I think to some extent I've discussed this in Bhakti Shastri also. So in some detail we'll discuss today. So Klesha means distress and also causes of distress. So distress and causes of distress. So what are the 3 main causes of distress? Have you all heard about this anytime? Those are distress. Those are kleshas. Those are distress. But 3 causes of distress. Okay, body, mind, soul. Soul also. No soul. False ego. Okay. Yeah, false ego. We can take it from there. And what is that? Okay, Papa. Yes, Papa is one of the 3. Okay, Avidya is also there. And one more. Desire. Which desire? Sinful desire. So these are the 3 which are there. Papa, sin. Bija, material desires or sinful desires. And Avidya is ignorance. it is described the root cause of avidya. What is the root cause of avidya? And what is the root cause of ignorance? Avidya. Very nice. What is the root cause of avidya? You all know it anyways. Huh? Okay, enjoyer mentality, forgetfulness of our own identity. That's the that's the cause, or the root cause of suffering is avidya. And what is avidya basically? Avidya is ignorance of one's true identity. Jivara swarup hoy, Krishna nityadas. This is forgotten. So that's avidya. That's the main thing that is there. And this is the root cause of suffering. In this world, when you ask people, how are you? And they say, no, I'm not good, I'm suffering. What's the reason of suffering? They'll tell n number of things. But actually, the basis of all the suffering is this one root cause, that's avidya, and that is forgetting one's constitutional position. So as soon as one is in ignorance, immediately the next thing that will take place is one starts acting as an enjoyer. And as soon as I start acting as an enjoyer, immediately I'll start suffering. It's very difficult to understand. When I enjoy, I'll suffer more. That's how this entire world is designed. Therefore, in this world, it's very difficult to find anyone who is enjoying and happy. Very difficult to find. Enjoying and suffering, you can find many, many people. Enjoying and happy, very difficult to find. Srila Prabhupada says, as long as one is ignorant about his identity, he is sure to act wrongly and thereby become entangled in material contamination. Simple. I have forgotten my constitutional position. I'm in ignorance. Immediately I'll start doing something which is not according to Shastra, and I have to suffer all the repercussions which are waiting for me. Now, therefore, if you really want to get rid of suffering, you have to uproot this avidya. Very, very important point. And Prabhupada says the blazing fire of Krishna consciousness is so strong that the snakes of ignorance are immediately killed. So in the forest, there are many, many snakes will crawl. And when there is forest fire, all the animals having legs, they run fast and they try to escape out of the fire, out of the forest fire. But snakes, they cannot go very fast. So these snakes will get burnt. And these snakes are compared to avidya. And Krishna consciousness is compared pure devotional service. So whenever we say Krishna consciousness, we're talking about pure devotional service here. So that is like forest fire, and that will burn. That will burn the entire thing. All the ignorance. So ignorance. So this is one of the things. So only devotional service can uproot the ignorance. Now let's discuss about a more relevant subject for today's discussion. That is papam, sinful activity. So sinful actions produce two types of reactions. Manifest, unmanifest. Manifest is called as prarabdha and unmanifest, aprarabdha. So the manifest ones, Srila Prabhupada says, for some of our sinful activities we are awaiting distress in the future. And for others which are mature, we are suffering at the present moment. So whatever suffering is there as of now, it's all prarabdha. And the ones for which we are waiting, are you all waiting? Even if you don't wait, it will come. Because that is waiting. If you're not waiting, that is waiting to come. So it will come. And the sufferings which are awaited, those sufferings are called as aprarabdha. So Prabhupada gives a very nice understanding. A disease caught early is curable, but is far more difficult to counteract if allowed to become chronic. Similarly, sinful reactions are more difficult to counteract once they become manifest. Now tell me, prarabdha, examples of prarabdha, sufferings in this life. Okay, this body is there, yes. Okay, mind is also. Prabhu is like mind. Yes, correct. Mind is there. And family relatives. Okay, they are suffering. Okay. Huh? Okay, diseases. See, so chronic disease in the body is one of the sign of prarabdha. Someone is really suffering. Really suffering. The body is going through a chronic disease. That's prarabdha. Legal implications that people have, suffering because of legal implications, suffering. That's prarabdha. Born in a very low degraded family. That's prarabdha. I heard one mother speaking. She had a small kid, and I think someone was smoking around. So I said, "You take your kid away because the smoke will go inside him and it'll affect him." You know what she says? See, it doesn't matter. So his father smokes. In future, he also has to smoke. So she's convinced that this is what is the person should do as soon as he grows up. He should smoke, he should drink. This is called as low degraded family. The culture itself is like that. Culture itself is so low and degraded. Consciousness so degraded. So anyone who takes birth in such a family, so that's the sign of prarabdha. We are discussing about those fixed things in life which are very clear, which will cause suffering. That's the discussion. Another thing is being uneducated. That's also sign of prarabdha. Yes, uneducated. And if someone is born very ugly, yes, that's also sign of prarabdha. So these are the things which Prabhupada gives. These are not my speculation. I just picked it up from Prabhupada's NOD. So hope this point is clear. Prarabdha, yes. So even say after 5 years, I'm supposed to get some chronic disease. Now that's not manifest yet. But can I call it as aprarabdha or prarabdha? It's prarabdha. I've taken birth. It's all there. It's all there in this body. Only thing is we are not able to experience it. So it is there. But in this life, whatever we are supposed to go through, all that is already given to us as birthday gift. As soon as we took birth, our higher authorities, they gave us one package. Happy birthday. Yes. So that package, some things which I can see, some things which are yet to come. But it is already there. That's prarabdha. So now in future, say in this life, after 5 years or 10 years, whatever is supposed to come in our life, you all know what's going to come? Yes. I can tell you what's going to come, but I'll not tell. There is only one word. Suffering is going to come. It's going to come for everyone. But in what way it will come, very difficult. See, now when this is my personal contemplation, it keeps me enthusiastic in bhakti. Currently my body is healthy. But in that gift that was given to me, I don't know what is there. You never know if some chronic disease comes. Suddenly, some people are diagnosed with cancer or some other deadly diseases. And a lot of time gets into just treatment and this and that. Chanting becomes very difficult. I've seen some practicing devotees going through such a terrible situation. So you never know what is there, what is coming. Yes. Therefore, it's very important to contemplate on this subject. Now when things are good, let me go deep in bhakti and let me go very serious. And we can never say, नहीं मेरे साथ ये सब नहीं होगा. क्यों भाई क्यों नहीं होगा? I was very pious. Which life you were pious? Previous life. But what about the 50 lifetimes back? How are you? Now that I don't know. Yes. You never know in that gift which reactions are given to us. Is it 50 lifetimes back, 100 lifetimes back? We never know. We never know. Therefore, never we can say that sab aise hi rehne wala hai, acha. I'll be able to eat all the feast that is cooked here. My body will be healthy like this. And I'll be able to go for full day book distribution, Majestic every time. Yes. I'll be able to sit at one place holding my beads and finish my 16 rounds. It's a big thing, I'm telling you. Many people, after a certain age, they cannot sit at one place. It becomes very difficult, like pain and this and that. Sitting straight. Abhi mein dekhta hu. I saw one boy sitting in that corner. And he was chanting. Why are you sitting there? I also don't know, Prabhuji. He's sitting in that corner looking at the wall and he's chanting. Maybe Mayavadi from past life. It's very difficult. So devotees don't understand the importance of the body that is given to us now. The situation, the current situation. People feel in future I'll become serious. No, in future there's high probability of seriousness going down, not seriousness increasing. Always remember this point. Because as of now, we don't know what is awaiting. Prarabdha. We're discussing Prarabdha. We don't know what is awaiting. Let's go to the next one. That's Aprarabdha. Aprarabdha means that which is not manifest yet. It is there in the stock. It is there in the stock and it will not manifest now. Done. The stock which is manifested is already called as Prarabdha. But now, the second type of unmanifest reactions coming in our life is called Kutam. Kutam means sinful proclivities. So now, when there is a Prarabdha, so a Prarabdha will manifest in two forms. One is Prarabdha and one is Kutam. So it will manifest as Prarabdha. And what is basically Prarabdha? The direct physical or emotional sufferings. That's Prarabdha. Direct physical or emotional sufferings. And now the second type is indirect suffering. And you know how this indirect suffering is given? By increasing one's sinful proclivities, increasing one's sinful tendencies. It's an indirect suffering. Very important. Example, say someone gets into illicit sex. Now, when someone gets into illicit sex, the first type is physical, emotional suffering. So, some diseases maybe the person will get or something. Yes. So, that's emotional, physical or emotional suffering. One thing which I heard is when we do any activities, most of the reactions which is there in our prarabdha will manifest next life. But some will manifest in this life also. That's a very, very important point to note. It's not that whatever I'm doing will come next life only. So some will manifest this life also. So now when someone gets into illicit sex, he'll get into some physical disturbance or some emotional disturbance. That's prarabdha, you can say. The next one is the indirect suffering, that is his sinful tendency of having illicit sex with the opposite gender is now aggravated. Now what happens because of this? Increased sexual desires and the person gets into illicit sex in future. And guess what? He gets into a cycle now. He gets into a cycle. Illicit sex, sinful activity, therefore sinful tendency will increase. More sinful tendency, again get into illicit sexual activity, and it goes on and on and on. It's a cycle that he'll get stuck into. And he'll suffer for sure. Therefore, when sinful desires increase, sinful activities will surely increase. It's very simple. It gets reinforced again and again and again. Like for example, there's a wet cement and you step on it. And again you jump on it. And again you jump on it. So now just think about it, how the impression will go deeper and deeper and deeper. So like that, sinful tendencies will aggravate. It will go higher and higher and higher. And now when sinful tendencies are very high, the person can get into any activity for sure. He will not see, say, illicit sex. Many times people say, how the father is able to, or think also of raping his own daughter or mother or grandmother or whatever. There are all sorts of nonsensical cases in this world. And sometimes people who are from pious background, they think, how is this possible? And that statement from Bhagavatam? Very nice. Matra sparsha dvitrava. So Prabhupada writes that even sitting with one's own mother, daughter or sister in seclusion is prohibited according to Shastra. Why? This is Balavan Indriya Gram. So therefore it's very, very important to note that you never know what sort of sinful tendencies are there, and if those sinful tendencies are really very high level, gone. What the person will do, even the person will not know. Therefore, in Quran, 5th surah says one shouldn't have sex with one's own mother and sister. So you can imagine what was the situation at that time that the Prophet had to write this? You can think about it. How sinful that entire life will be. That the Prophet had to explicitly write and speak about it. So this is a very important point to note. So what's the solution? Very nice thing. To break the cycle of bondage, one must tolerate sinful desires. This is on the gross platform what we can do as of now, immediately. Tolerate sinful desires and don't endeavor to fulfill them. This is the point that is made. And now, when not reinforced again and again, so what happens? Gradually, these sinful desires will leave the person. This will happen gradually. Gradually, it will happen. Therefore, to break the cycle of bondage, one must tolerate sinful desires and not endeavor to fulfill them. Not being reinforced by unmanifest reaction, they will gradually dissipate and leave the heart forever. Esham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. Yes, dridhavrata, with determination. Yes. So you'll be able to practice. Very nice understanding that is given by Dhanudhar Maharaj. So to make significant advancement, one must engage in Krishna consciousness with unwavering determination. This is a point that all of us have to understand. If I have to make significant advancement in Krishna consciousness, then I should be engaged in Krishna consciousness with determination, unwavering determination. Now, this is difficult when one's stock of unmanifested reactions continuously generates sinful desires that distract one from bhakti. Now just imagine that there are so many sinful reactions which are manifesting. Those tendencies are becoming more and more reinforced. How can he practice bhakti with determination, unwavering determination? Very difficult. But then here it is said. So punya karma, that was mentioned in the shloka. So punya karma also is controlling the senses, controlling one's desires which are there. So when one controls the senses, what happens? He avoids sinful activity and thus does not increase sinful proclivity. Very, very important point. So that punya karma that is there practically in our life is controlling one's senses and not allowing one's sinful desires to be executed. We should endeavor for it. We shouldn't be endeavoring for it. That's the point that is made. And this gradually exhausts one's stock of sins and one can engage in devotional service without distraction. A very, very important point. So this is Dridhavrata. So now many times you'll meet a lot of materialists who would say that what sort of life you people are living? Look at us, we are so free. We can do whatever we want. We have that freedom. But you people, useless fellows, you're bound. You cannot eat what you want. Always you look for where we'll get prasadam. You cannot eat in any bakery also, vegetarian food. And you people fear to look at a girl. And you people don't want to enter a pub also and bar also. What is this? What sort of life? Look at us, we are so free. We can eat whatever we want. We can see whomever we want. Not just see, we can do whatever we want with them. And we can go to any place, we have no restriction. We are so free. Now what do you say for this? What's waiting for them? Okay, suffering is waiting for them. And more importantly, as we discussed till now, the sinful desires are going to aggravate like anything. And they'll be so bound by their sinful desires that their sinful desires will now dictate what they're supposed to do. And the ones who are controlling their senses and following rules and regulations, they are the ones who are actually free. Therefore, the 4 regulative principles are called as regulative principles of freedom. Initially, when I read this, I was like, no, how can this be freedom? But with time, we realize why these principles, the 4 regulative principles of no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, are called as regulative principles of freedom. Therefore, when we hear all this from people around, we shouldn't be affected even a bit. In fact, we should just smile at their face. Bachcha, tera kya hoga? Mujhe pata hai. Yes. So actually, I am free, not you. And this only time will tell. Only time will tell. Therefore, devotees should be always carefree, executing devotional service very intensely. Very, very important. we shouldn't bother about what other people say and what the other comments, which comes on food and other things, especially people are working, in the office, team lunch, team dinner, and all those things. It might be very difficult because team lunch, team dinner means sins. How many sins we can commit today? Let's decide. And let's go to the most sinful place possible on planet. So this is a very important point that they might comment saying, "Oh, kya ghas poos khate rehta hai? Itna bhi nahi kar sakta. Mard nahi hai kya? This, that, whatever." So we shouldn't be affected by all that. We should say, "मैं प्रकृति हूँ." I'm not Purusha, I'm Prakriti. Yes, and Prakriti is supposed to serve Purusha. So I'm engaged in service of Purusha. And my Purusha has told me not to do this, so I'll not be doing it. Therefore, devotees should have clear understanding of Siddhanta. Then those devotees will not get affected. Those devotees will know what to reply, or those devotees will just keep quiet because there's no point of replying to such people also. But point is, they'll never get affected. Their determination will be always unwavering. They will never get disturbed. They'll continue practicing bhakti with full determination. Full determination. Okay, so this is kutam. Now, this unmanifest sin, how it comes or how it manifests. So one is aprarabdha, we understood. Next is kutam, the sinful proclivity. It's general sinful tendency basically. And then comes bijam, the next one. Now this is sinful desire. Now we have a general sinful tendency, and then now we have a specific sinful desire. That's called bijam. And then after that comes prarabdha, manifest sinful reaction. In this stage, the sinful desires causes one to commit a sinful action. Srila Prabhupada writes this very nice thing. When one catches some disease, it is often very difficult to ascertain the cause of the disease. Many times we don't know also, kaise ho gaya ye? Where it originated and how it is maturing. It's very difficult to understand. The suffering of a disease, however, does not appear all of a sudden. It actually takes time. So similarly, even prarabdha, if it has to manifest, it takes time. Very amazing example. I think all of us can remember this. So due to some sinful act, now the person's prarabdha is, he's supposed to become a thief, he'll be caught, and he should be punished. Basically, he has to suffer. He has committed some sinful act, he has to suffer. So he's destined now, to get into the suffering in this particular way. This is prarabdha. This is the prarabdha that is decided for him. Now, how this prarabdha will manifest? The first and foremost is, it will not manifest now. Because he has committed some sinful activity and it is not manifesting now. So it is stocked now. That's aprarabdha. It's waiting. The next life, it manifests. Now, I'm not saying all the things will happen like this. I'm just giving an example. It's not that all the sinful activities, it will get next life only. This is an example. Say next life. So he gets it in next life. So now in next life, what happens is, the reaction begins. How? It begins as unnoticed proclivity towards dishonesty and cheating. Now that will be there with the person. And with time, for whatever reasons, this proclivity will go on intensifying. Now this is kutam. And then finally when this proclivity, the sinful proclivity intensifies to the fullest, now the person gets into bijam, that is sinful desire, and now he decides to steal. And now when the desire goes intense, he steals. And then he is caught. And then he is beaten, suffering, prarabdha. How's that? So in this way, the prarabdha manifests. Unfortunately, fortunately, whatever you call it as, it manifests and the person has to suffer. That's a very important thing to note, that in this way it manifests in general. And how does the different sinful reactions which are there in our life eradicated, in what sequence? First is aprarabdha, that will be removed. Second, kutam is removed, sinful tendency. Then bijam is removed, the specific sinful desire is removed. And then prarabdha is removed. Now, it's a very nice thing to note. Even Vedic rituals like charity and austerity can neutralize sinful reactions. They can remove aprarabdha. So aprarabdha is in stock. They have the power to remove aprarabdha. But they don't have the power to remove kutam bijam. Vanquishing of prarabdha was a very revolutionary concept which our acharyas have given us in Gaudiya Parampara. A revolutionary thing with Praman. But kutam bijam we are talking about, as of now we are talking about kutam bijam, the sinful tendency and sinful desire. So that cannot be removed by doing some punya karma of some austerity and some charity. Srila Prabhupada says, a person may be cured of venereal disease by some painful medical treatment. Say some sexually transmitted disease, and through some painful treatment, he got cured. But because sex desire remains in his heart, he again implicates himself in suffering. Means the sex desire is not gone. Maybe the disease what he got might have got cured, but the sex desire is not gone. The tendency, the desire is not gone, it will manifest again. And the famous example that comes in Bhagavatam for this is, yes, Kunjara Shauchavat. So elephant, it will take bath very nicely, then go on the land and again put a lot of dust, a lot of sand on one's own body and make itself dirty. And again it will go and take bath. Again it will make himself dirty. So that's what is compared, to the activities of people who have sinful desire in the heart. So they might, because of sinful desire, commit sinful activity, and they might come in contact with some pious soul who will recommend some atonement. He will do that atonement, but because that sinful desire is not gone, again he'll commit sinful activity. There was another example that is given in Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto for this entire sequence of events. Which example? Forest fire? The trees get burnt, but the roots remain. So now what happens? Now once again when it rains, so these roots will become active and again it will grow. So the punya karma, those are there. These punya karma or sukritotta karmas which are there, so they can max to max cut down the tree, but the roots will remain, the sinful tendencies will remain. And as soon as there is a favorable circumstance, immediately it will grow back. It means the sinful tendencies will manifest as sinful desire, and then it will manifest as sinful actions. And again, the person is in cycle. And Prabhupada gives a very important example of a Jamil. So it is described, in spite of a strict performance of Brahmanical duties, sinful desires remained in Ajamil's heart and caused him to succumb to sinful life. Very, very important example from Shastra. Now, when it comes to aprarabdha, how aprarabdha is removed by engaging in Krishna consciousness, pure devotional service. Devotional service is like a blazing fire, able to consume limitless amounts of unmanifest sinful reactions. Now, if I ask you, how many unmanifest sinful reactions we have? What's the answer? Unlimited. Why so? From unlimited lifetimes. From unlimited lifetimes, all this has got accumulated. Unlimited aprarabdha reactions are there. We don't know also what is going to manifest next life. And literally you have to glorify and put a Mahaprasad garland across that devotee who decides that I'll continue bhakti next life. I'll become serious next life. I'll become a pure devotee next life. Immediately Mahaprasad garland should be put across him. Because he has got so much of confidence that next life is going to be peaceful as what currently I have this life. Just think about it. Anything can happen next life. Anything. Because as soon as we say that unlimited aprarabdhas are there for unlimited lifetimes, what sort of aprarabdha is going to manifest as prarabdha, we don't know. We don't know. Therefore, the business of Krishna consciousness should be finished in this life. Why our acharyas always condemn many lifetimes process of karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga? Because they know that what is going to manifest, we don't know. really practicing bhakti in next life, is it possible or not? Because of some bodily ailments, etc., is very difficult to comprehend. Therefore, now, not just this life, I'm not talking about this life, one should become serious and pure devotee. Now one should endeavor seriously to become a pure devotee of the Lord. Because we don't know in this life, future, what's going to manifest. The gift of prarabdha that is given to us. And next life, though we don't know. Prarabdha. Now, before coming to bhakti, whatever nonsense we have done, all that is talked. And just imagine all that manifests together. Sometimes devotees offer a very, disastrous prayer. Oh Lord, whatever prarabdha is there, give it to me now. I am ready to suffer. He will suffer only. No bhakti will happen in that. It will not happen. This can be just dialogues for sure, but very difficult to comprehend also as soon as we say that. Srila Prabhupada says, as the blazing fire can burn any amount of fuel to ashes. So say there's a huge fire and you keep putting how much ever fuel you want. So what will happen? Will the fire get extinguished? The fuel will get burnt. The Prabhupada says, so devotional service to Lord in Krishna consciousness can burn up all the fuel of sinful activities. Very, very amazing point. So whatever prarabdha is there will be completely burned to ashes if someone renders pure devotional service. Either pradhanibhuta bhakti or kevala bhakti. Either of the two, if someone does, for sure, this prarabdha will be completely destroyed. The revolutionary thing was prarabdha getting destroyed. Where is the reference to this given? No, that is a shloka for all of them. Reference from Bhagavatam. Okay, so what does it say? That's the thing that is given. So very beautifully it is given. This is one shloka, 333.6, Bhagavatam. Yan namadheya shravananu kirtanad yat prahavanad yat smaranad api kvachit shvadopi sadyah savanaya kalpate kutah punaste bhagavantu darshanat. Very beautifully it is said. Devotee is explaining. So our explanation is very nice, and that talks about how even prarabdha is destroyed. Many times, or many various other sampradayas which are there, Vaishnava sampradaya I'm talking about, they do say this, that prarabdha we have to suffer. We have no option. Prarabdha we have to suffer. Maybe aprarabdha kutam bijam will go, but prarabdha we have to suffer. But actually, even prarabdha can be nullified by pure devotional service. And devotee is explaining that, say someone has taken birth in a very low degraded family of dog eaters. Now other meat is still okay, it seems, but eating dog's meat, that is really horrible. And Prabhupada says that I used to always think that who will eat dog's meat? But then, he's telling the audience, but when I came to your country, then I realized there are people who exist like this also. Prabhupada is next level. Even they become qualified to perform the highest Brahmanical sacrifices. Because these personalities, due to their behavior, they're not allowed to do various sacrificial performances. Their birth in a degraded family disqualifies them from performing Vedic sacrifices. But if someone practices devotional service, pure devotional service we are talking about, pradhanibhuta bhakti or kevala bhakti, what happens? That this manifest reaction of taking birth in a degraded family is vanquished completely. Now where the person is allowed to do all those different activities in, as given by the Vedic scriptures, only for the Brahmanical class. So even that person, a dog eater, becomes qualified. Now for us, this might be a very difficult case study to understand. But simple thing, say some chronic disease waiting for us, that will be nullified. That will not happen. Isn't that a good thing to understand and note? Yeah. And say some other thing is waiting for us, say some legal implications waiting for us. destroyed. But how about those astrological things which are told on television? Aaj, Somvar ke din, so and so person having so and so nakshatra and so astrological chart is going to suffer. But if you do so and so things, so and so karma kanda, then you'll be freed of that particular suffering that is awaited for you in next few days. So how do you understand this one? Because that's not pure devotional service. The suffering max to max can be postponed. Why so? Who? The demigods can only adjust the karmic reactions. They cannot nullify the karmic reactions. This point is very, very important to note. It's only Vishnu. It's only Vishnu Bhakti. Vishnu Bhakti Ratatmanaha, Padma Puran says. It's only by Vishnu Bhakti that karmic reactions can be completely vanquished. But all the other things of this world can just adjust the karmic reactions. Very, very important point to note. Therefore, even prarabdha can be changed by pure devotional service. Hari Bol. Even prarabdha can be changed. Therefore, a devotee whose prarabdha is burnt completely and is going to live a very, very nice, wonderful, blissful life, can't he practice bhakti very nicely? He'll be happily executing devotional service. Therefore, many times you'll find these statements in scriptures that when someone practices bhakti, he can live a blissful life in this life and he'll have a blissful destination next life. So now that statement becomes very much clear when we understand this particular concept of how prarabdha can get burnt, vanquished completely. Now comes the Kutam and Bijam part. So pure devotional service can vanquish completely this very, very important element which troubles a devotee, that is sinful tendency. Sinful tendency and also sinful desire. Now when someone asks this question, that how to understand that I'm advancing in bhakti, what is that litmus test? That litmus test is this. Is my sinful tendency and sinful desire reducing with time when I'm practicing bhakti? Is it reducing or not? This one question is the litmus test to understand if I'm advancing bhakti or not. Even to a great extent, in Karma Yoga, since they also have various elements of Navavida Bhakti, for them also, if they have to understand if their heart is purified or not, their litmus test is lust, anger, greed. Have these three vanquished to a great extent or not? That's purification of heart. Rid Vishuddhi, this is called as. Now just imagine if Karma Yogis have to expect this as their purification, then we are Bhakti Yogis at the top. So Bhakti Yogis litmus test has to be very, very thorough, very, very strong. And that is this very, very important point, sinful tendency. So therefore, we have to analyze in ourselves, are my sinful tendencies going down? Are my sinful desires going down or not? If it's not going down, it means I'm not doing pure devotional service, as simple as that. Because as soon as the person starts rendering pure devotional service, immediately Kleshagni has to happen. Correct me, because long time now I've read this. The first two characteristics of pure devotional service manifests in sadhana bhakti. The next two in bhava bhakti and last two in prema bhakti. Am I correct? Yes. Sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Now someone might say, Prabhuji, the sinful tendency is completely getting removed. Maybe this will happen when I attain bhava stage. Nainam galadashru dharaya. No. In sadhana stage is going to happen, not bhava stage. Sadhana stage we call it till asakti. So in these stages itself, my sinful tendency has to go away. In bhava stage, then the other two will manifest. What are the two? Yes, mokshata lagutakrit, moksha lagutakrit, and sudurlabha. This will manifest at that time. But the first two, kleshagni and shubhada, has to manifest during the sadhana bhakti stage. And the other two, Sandrananda Visheshatma and Sri Krishna Akarshani, will manifest in prema stage. Therefore, now in this stage, when we are in sadhana, when we are doing sadhana bhakti, it's very, very important we analyze if my sinful tendencies and sinful desires have vanquished or not. If not vanquished, at least are they going down or not? Very, very important litmus test. And when the sinful tendency is completely removed, you can easily conclude that all the infinite stock of aprarabdha is vanquished. Now, such a devotee, will he pray to the Lord, Abhi, itna ab sab nikal diye, prarabdha bhi nikal do? A devotee prays like that? That, oh Lord, may the prarabdha also go away. You might say, बाकी लोग का पता नहीं प्रभु, मैं तो pray करूंगा. Actually, pure devotees don't pray. Lord does it by himself, but pure devotees will never pray that may my prarabdha be vanquished completely. No. Pure devotees have the mood that I have committed sinful activities in the past and I should suffer for it. But oh Lord, tatyanukampam. So samikshamana bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. So their mood is this, that I will suffer for my prarabdha karma, but I will not stop practicing devotional service. And their mood is, oh Lord, whatever it is, please engage me in your loving devotional service. I'm ready to go through any problem, any suffering, no problem. But please help me to always be a fixed up devotee, rendering devotional service with unwavering determination. This is what a pure devotee desires. He'll never desire that, please help me to get rid of suffering. Who desires, help me to get rid of suffering? Not karmis, jnanis. The moksha kamis will desire that I want to get rid of suffering. So whenever we desire this, get rid of suffering. Are we pure devotees? Doesn't look like. According to definition, we are moksha kamis. But initially, at least someone should become a moksha kami, or else we are sense gratifiers anyways. So at least we have to become moksha kami, and with time we have to elevate ourselves to Shuddha Bhakti. Very, very important. So in this way, we have understood aprarabdha, kutam, bijam and prarabdha. And in the same sequence, all that will get burnt when we render pure devotional service, and that's called kleshagni. So aprarabdha goes off, then kutam, bijam, and then we have the next one, that is prarabdha. Therefore, for a sadhaka, the litmus test is, are my sinful tendencies going down or not? If they're going down, congratulations. You're on the right path, you're advancing. If it's not going down, it means we are doing something which is not proper, for sure. We are not doing bhakti properly. We are not executing sadhana bhakti properly, it means. Because only when you're executing sadhana bhakti properly, then all these things will manifest. And in another class, I had mentioned this clearly, that the four things which are talked about has to be very proper. First is Shraddha. Our Shraddha should be proper. If our Shraddha is not proper in Shastra, we should modify. We should tweak. How will we tweak? Associate with sadhus who have Shraddha. Clarify from them. Whatever doubts we have, clarify that and move ahead. Very, very important. Shraddha. Second, Spriha. Very, very important to put our desires on track. There's only one track. That is to attain Krishna Prem. And normally we go out off track many times. We have to again and again put back our desire on track. That is, I want only Krishna Prem and nothing else. Third, Pragya. That's understanding. So understanding of Krishna consciousness is very, very important. Sometimes people say, devotees say, that we are doing Karma Yoga now, and with time we should come to Bhakti Yoga. Yeah, so it's not like that. Yes. Yeah, maybe, for the ones who are not doing full-time devotional service, it might be. But for full-time devotees, always remember there's no Karma Yoga. It's only Bhakti Yoga. There's nothing called as Karma Yoga for them. Yes. They were saying, no, it's not Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga we have to attain. No, zarurat nahi hai. We are already practicing Bhakti Yoga. So why is there is a need to attain Nishkam Karma state? And the fourth one is Kriya. So Kriya also has to be proper. So that the 64 Angas of Bhakti, we should be doing it properly, the way it is given by the Acharyas. So when these four are proper, naturally, we are on the track of pure devotional service. And when we are on the track of pure devotional service, Kleshagni has to happen. Kleshagni has to happen now, not after some decades. Now, because we are in sadhana stage, sadhana bhakti stage. So let's remove that illusion from our head, that only when I elevate and come to maybe to a stage of some Sant Maharaj or someone, attain Bhava Bhakti, only at that stage I should expect this. No, now we have to expect this. So this is the expectation. Expecting the tears to flow from the eyes and rolling on the ground, maybe not needed now. Yes. But surely sinful tendencies going zero should be expected now. So this is the litmus test for a sadhaka. Are we advancing or not? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.